Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Sandy and my good friend Audrey D. Lloyd. Today, we are talking about innate talent, and this is our primer chat, so you can take this conversation back and have your own discussions around it. But we're just priming you up for the conversation. So, welcome, Audrey, again.
Yes, we're
It's,
back. We're back again with one of my favorite subjects, actually, to talk
well,
about
why don't
what's
you kick it
innate.
off? What is
Yeah, sure.
what are we talking about and define it?
Yeah. So innate talent or what's innate in you is something that you are born with. It's not something that you learn. So it's what I call a gift or something that's a natural inclination, which is very different than a technical skill. And people might be wondering, well, what do you mean exactly by innate talent? So we know that there's sometimes geniuses, right? In terms of musical geniuses, those that are really, really great at athletics. Some are
Like
brilliant.
A Mozart in music, or a Usain Bolt in athletics, or a Venus Williams.
Correct. And everyday people also have innate talent. But the problem is that many times we take it for granted or we go, everyone can do that. Well, in fact, everyone might be able to do that, but they don't do it in the unique way that you, Sandy, might do it, or Audrey might do it, or our audience members might do it. Does
So
that make sense?
I have a comment on that. We are all born with innate talent. Like a baby can suck and swallow from the moment. You don't have to teach them that, they automatically do that. I think I have some innate talents, but I have to enhance my innate talents. I have to get further education. So even a Mozart, right? Mozart probably can sit at a piano and play the piano, but did he learn how to write music to complement his playing? Did he listen to other players so that he can differentiate what's different about mine, creating my style, right? Usain Bolt, we know athletics, they practice all day. They're maniacally focused on what they do all day. Venus Williams, she will get up in the morning, play tennis. So you have this innate skill, but you still have to practice it to be better or to be the best at what you do. Do you agree with that?
I do. And just to back it up one step further, what I would say is that you actually have to be able to identify what it is to be aware of it, right? So I will take for myself, for example, from when I was a small child, I always loved to write. I always was pretty good at, getting up on my feet and having conversations with people. But it took me a very long time, decades, to really realize, wait a minute, you have something that's unique. But to your point, you have to hone it. You have to put in the practice. So even
Yes.
for people that do things, that come naturally, with my writing, I work on my writing every day. Every day I write something and
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 you've
there's
taken
something new to
classes?
learn.
Have you
Yep,
taken
and I take
classes
classes,
for
correct.
your
I
writing?
learn about
Yes.
different things, and that's how you continue to add to it. That's how you continue to feed it so that you can actually use it at a level that where it's unique, it's special, and then also it, I would say that it comes so natural to you that you don't have to think about it. You kind of just do it and you get paid for it, or you can use it
So
for.
with that, I can say this. There are some things I don't think are my innate talent, but it's come second nature to me because I've learned it and I've done it so well because that's the way it was taught to me. So now that second nature thing is I consider it almost innate because I could do it with my eyes closed. I don't have to think about it. So that wasn't a learned response. That was a learned response. That wasn't something I was born with. For example, marketing. I learned marketing. Yes, I do have some innate sensibilities as to what will catch someone, but that was a craft that I learned coming up in different companies. and I learned different parts. I worked in all different departments. I worked in information management, all to hone this craft of marketing. But I can't say to you, I'm a born marketer. I'm a skilled marketer
Right.
and I'm darn good at it to the point where it might seem innate to me.
But I think you can also cluster, right? You can cluster the things that you're really, really great at with some of the things that you also learn along the way, right? So, I'm going to take, for example, I'm going to pull something out. A person who's a very good teacher, right? So that person might be very, very good in mathematics. So they teach mathematics, right? But they might have to cluster and learn how to actually facilitate or actually teach. But they also might be natural at inspiring people, natural understanding how people think and how people learn. So I think clustering is a very good thing because I mean, it's not like, oftentimes as we go along in life and we evolve, you have to take your innate talent and be able to customize it, to innovate it, to evolve it, right? To meet the needs of the current day, of what the current demands are. But you still
And
have that core center of what you're great at.
so, are you saying for business people, they should be doing what's innate to them or what they learn, or an enhanced innateness of what they do when you're forming a business?
I would suggest that business people do a portfolio view of what they bring to the table. So some of that might be what is innate to them. Some of it's going to be capabilities that they've learned from their background and their heritage and who they are as people. Like as a West Indian Jamaican person, I feel like I'm a natural problem solver and great at foresight because that's what the culture teaches you. Solve problems and anticipate what's going to come ahead of you, right? But at the same time, you have an expertise in terms of you went to school or you worked in business and you did something where you were able to learn and build that skill. So having that portfolio of what is innate to me, what do I bring to the table based on my heritage and my culture, and what is my expertise? I think if you fuse those three things together, you can't lose because you're going to be getting paid or adding results based on what comes naturally to you.
And we always know at some point, you made a good point, and I'm going to stop in a minute. You made a great point that or people tell you, Audrey, you're great at baking a cake. I want that cake. I always say to people, if you're going to a Thanksgiving dinner, what is the thing that people say? Audrey, you must bring your cake. Audrey, you must bring your fried turkey. Or because those are things that people identify you with because you're so good at it. And that's the thing that you could turn into your business, or the skill set that you use to make that turkey, to put those ingredients together. You can transfer that to your business.
Correct. So yeah,
So
I think
I think I brought my process management to business. And I'll always be a process person no matter what. Even, no, regardless of what I do, I always think in terms of a process.
no, I love what you said. And I think it is really identifying those things that you do consistently. We have our own patterns, right? So looking over the decades that you've worked or years that you've worked, if you're not an older person, what is the consistent feedback that you've always received from people in terms of the value that you've added, right? And what do you like to do? And what do you also recognize when you're, in a room or you're in someplace new? What do you tend to see in other people very
Right.
easily? You know what I mean? I think those are telltale signs that you're on to something in terms of identifying what your innate talent is.
Correct. Correct. And if you don't, ask your mama.
Yeah, I think,
Your
yeah, you're
mother,
right.
your parents can always say to you, you are good at this. Even if you think you suck, your parents, I don't know what it is. It's an instinct that they see develop in you. And they see it from the time you were little, from a baby could crawl. You're like, he's holding on already. He's trying to get out the crib. because you are already ahead in certain aspects of your life and your thinking that they identify that. So I
I
always say, ask your
love that.
parents.
No, I love that. I love that. So really the call to action for anyone who's listening, what is it? Is it Malcolm Gladwell, I think, that says that you have to do 50,000 hours to become expert in something. But you know what I would say? Start today in identifying what your innate talent is, thinking through some of the prompts that we've provided, and continue to hone it and to build on it and to feed it to make it
Great.
that much more better over time. And have the confidence to believe that your unique skill and special talent is unique for you and it is special and can add value to the world around you as well.
Agreed. And there are assessments I think you can do, some kind of assessment testing that you can do. I know Myers-Briggs tells you about the type of person you are, but it also gives you a little inkling as to the things you're good at doing that might be innate to you. So take some assessment tests if you feel you really don't know what it is, and let us know. Put it in the primer chat and let us know what your innate talents are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was short and sweet, and we'll see everyone again next time.
Yes.
Bye bye.